So my very first review on this channel was Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, and it's only taken 58 episodes to get back to the franchise in the random generator. So in honor of that first movie review, I have to do this little callback. Optimus! Optimus! Transformers Dark of the Moon, released in 2011. It's not Dark Side of the Moon. I always got that mixed up when it was coming out. I got a lot of Pink Floyd references. The movie is, of course, directed by Michael Bay, who is behind such films as explosion and female exploitation porn. Which I guess porn is already female exploitation, so yeah. I guess he's behind porn. The film stars Shia Labeouf, Josh Duhamel, John Turturro, Frances McDormand, not Megan Fox, Patrick Dempsey, and stars the voices of Peter Cullen, Hugo Weaving, and Leonard Nimoy. Apparently the space race during the Cold War was all about getting to the moon first to see this alien spacecraft that have crash-landed there. The craft is known as the Ark from the Autobot homeworld of Cybertron and is carrying a device that could save Cybertron. Fast forward to the present, and Sam Witwicky from the first two movies is struggling to find a place in the world after having saved it twice before. He's even moved on from the girl from the first two movies that he said that he loved. Yeah, remember that whole plot line from the previous film about Shia LaBeouf's character not wanting to say I love you because it loses its meaning as soon as you do, but then he ends up finally saying I love you to this girl? But he's moved on to a Victoria's Secret model, so good for him. Anyway, his plotline is absolutely pointless. The real issue here is that Optimus goes to the moon to salvage the damaged Ark and finds the former leader of the Autobots, Sentinel Prime. And the device that can save Cybertron can only be controlled by Sentinel, so now the Autobots go into battle over Sentinel with the Decepticons while the city of Chicago functions as its battlefield. I tried actually doing that whole plot summary with as little spoilers as possible because there are some neat little twists and turns that this movie goes through. But in the end, this movie is all explosions, shitty humor, and artsy upskirt shots of Rosie Huntington-Whiteley. Seriously, every shot of her that's not an action shot is an upward angle shot of her wearing a slinky dress or really tight jeans. Which there's absolutely nothing wrong with wearing that. If your character feels like they want to wear that, absolutely. Go for it. It's just that Michael Bay is a fucking pervert and he wants to show as much unnecessary female skin as possible. Your typical Michael Bay film. Now, like I've said in the past, I loved Transformers growing up. In particular, the Beast Wars cartoons from the 90s. The original Transformers cartoon just missed me, but I have caught up on a little bit of those episodes. But I love the mythology of this franchise, so when this movie starts out with a battle on Cybertron, I'm thinking, alright, okay. This is going to be completely different from the first two movies, and they're going to go back to the source material. And then the humans come on screen. There are two different movies happening here. You have the Autobots plotline where we have Sentinel wanting to bring back Cybertron and use humans as slave labor, which is the stuff that I really like. That was awesome. Then you have the Sam plotline where he's trying to find his place in the world, he's trying to find a job, and he's trying to claim Rosie Huntington-Whiteley as his property from Patrick Dempsey. And then the fucking annoying parents show up a couple of times, just complete shit. This movie is really trying to be something cool and energetic and new with the Autobot storyline. But then it just sinks right back into the familiarity with the Sam and the humans and the shitty Michael Bay human crap. And that's the biggest problem with these Transformers movies. They focus way too much on the humans. These movies are called Transformers. Give us the Transformers. All I want is a Transformers-centric plotline. No fucking humans. If they did that with any of these movies in this franchise, I would consider these movies, and probably the rest of the world would consider these movies to be at least good, if not great. But no, we get stupid, idiotic, comedic human scenes like this.
Wang. Deep wang. Deep wang. You're not getting it. Deep throat. Watergate? Talking code to you! Damn it!
Now, I think the last 40 minutes of this film are actually pretty enjoyable. It's basically the destruction of downtown Chicago, and there is some awesome action sequences. Plus, the action is way easier to comprehend this time. The camera lens is zoomed out a little bit more, and also Michael Bay kind of adapted the Zack Snyder 300 slow-mo action cam, which actually really helps me as the audience member make sense of who's killing who with all these different car parts flying around everywhere. And you have this lovely conflict between Sentinel and Optimus, and when the film focuses on them, it's a lovely thing to see. And speaking of Optimus, he has probably the best badass moments in all of these movies, but they're only just for like split seconds or maybe a couple of minutes, and then he gets easily taken out some way. I mean, he's flying around, he's shooting up shockwaves, he's like, I'm Optimus Prime, bitches! And then he just gets tangled up in ropes dangling from a building. And he's there for like 30 minutes. And what baffles my mind is that none of the Decepticons realize that, oh hey, Optimus is kind of dangling there, he's vulnerable, maybe we should open fire? No, instead they start taking the other Autobots in as hostages, and then they start executing them, which is actually a very dark moment in this film. But then I realized, how can you be taken hostage? Your guns are in your arms. Stupid moments like that make these films shittier and shittier. In terms of the actors, Shia Labeouf is, again, way over the top, and this is just an excuse for him to yell all the time. Thank God this was his last one. And Huntington-Whiteley was fine, I guess. She was a massive improvement over Megan Fox, in my opinion. And Patrick Dempsey's character is just so fucking annoying. He had things to say about everything. Just, if someone just randomly mentioned something, or a little quick, funny quip, he was right there like, no, nope, I'm always getting the last line. You know those kind of people at work who always have to top your story or at least get the last word in? Fucking hate those people. And actually, my favorite human in this film was Frances McDormand as the head of Homeland Security. The only believable performance. Actually, I thought Alan Tudyk was hilarious as the German bodyguard. Very stereotypical German, but really funny. Okay, so in the end, Transformers Dark of the Moon is probably the second best in the Transformers franchise. Not very high hurdles to overcome, though. I like how they tried to tie in the Autobots with the space race from the Cold War, and then the whole storyline between Optimus and Sentinel. Where this movie suffers, and just like all the other Transformers films, is with the human plot lines. Michael Bay has no sense of what's funny. When he tries to be funny, it either comes out as racist or comes out as sexual exploitation, and it needs to stop. But I know he does the next two Transformers films after this one, so something that you guys get to look forward to down the line. The last 40 minutes of this film is actually a pretty enjoyable summer blockbuster action explosion, just fun fest that is all wrapped up pretty quickly. Like, it took 2 minutes and 30 seconds for everything to wrap up as soon as the last action blow hits. Little jarring because I saw the destruction of Chicago for 40 minutes, and then for all of it to be wrapped up in like a 2-minute quick scene of slow motion, oh, I'm looking off into the distance dramatically. It's just... Quick! Quick! Stop the movie before the audience can process it! Again, as long as there's a human storyline in these films that's being handled by Michael Bay, these films will never reach a certain level for me, so we'll see what happens in the future with this franchise. So, I'm gonna give Transformers Dark of the Moon 2.5 out of 5 Blu-rays.
I'm just an ordinary guy with nothing to lose.
Alright everyone, now comes my favorite part in my videos where I randomly select which movie I'm watching next. Let's take a look. Jaws! What hasn't been said about this film? This is filmmaking at its best. One of the best movies of all time. And it's arguably the movie that started the summer blockbuster in 1975. There are some people that say that Star Wars was actually the first blockbuster, but no, in all actuality, it was this film. This is going to be a blast. I haven't actually seen this movie in a little bit because I don't have cable, but I'm excited to watch it for this channel and let you guys know what I think. So everyone, have you seen Transformers Dark of the Moon? What did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before, you stumbled across it because of this video, please comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And when you're done commenting, please like and subscribe to my channel so you know the next time I post my next movie review. And make sure you stay tuned for my Journey to Episode 100 and Beyond series, where from episode 71 to 100, I'm going to be going over a 30 movies a day listing, where you'll get to check out my least favorite film, my favorite action film, my favorite comedy, my favorite quote from a film. All of these will be released leading up to episode 100, so please stay tuned for that. So everyone, I will see you next time with my review of Jaws. So in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.